What is going on? And welcome to the morning voice over huddle. My name is Bill DeWeese, and every weekday morning we get together, we talk voiceover, all things voiceover, and all things for the sole purpose of helping you to become more successful, i.e., make more money in voiceover. So about 8:15 ish Eastern time in the AM, we get together to do that. Typically, there's a topic to discuss. Traditionally, on Friday mornings, it's Q&A. So if you have a question that's burning on your mind this morning, throw it up in the live stream, and I'll get to as many as I can in the time that we have this morning. But make sure you let me know who you are, where you're watching or listening from, and what the question is on your mind. And maybe, maybe it's not even a question. Maybe it's just you've got something good to report today. Something good happened to you in voiceover, or you made some progress. You did something, maybe something that you've been putting off, something that you were afraid to do. Whatever it is, what that and I don't care how small it is. What is the one thing that you did this week that moved you forward? You cannot underestimate the power of momentum, of any momentum. I mean, the slightest breeze that you catch that pushes you forward is a big deal. And so, if you got something you want to share, throw that up in the live stream as well. Let's see what's going on. Michelle, how are you doing in North Carolina? Thanks for being on the stream this morning. Mark Lane in Albuquerque. How's it going, Mark? It is a rainy, chilly day in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight. And I've got to be honest, I'm not a March Madness guy, and you may think that's blasphemy, and I totally get it. I enjoy sports. Not a big basketball fan. I back when we lived in the Chicago area, and back in the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen era, that whole thing, never missed a game. Loved it. After that, I'm strictly now a football, baseball, golf kind of guy. But I can appreciate what's going on. Hey, Doug, what's going on in Greensboro, North Carolina? Susan in New Jersey, Scott in Dayton, good morning. Sean in Salt Lake City, Neil in Fairfield, Janet in Florida, Austin in Iceland. Good morning, Austin. Rusty in the UP of Michigan, JP in Atlanta. How you doing, JP? Brian in Pensacola, Florida. Thanks for the kind comments. I so appreciate that. Hey, Phil in Tokyo, good to have you on the stream this evening. Steve, good Friday to you. Tom, how's it going in sunny South Florida? Dr. Bob in Clearwater, Florida. Let's see here. We've got Bill in snowy Boise. Wow. Sorry about that. Aaron, of course, you may be a snow fan. So if that's the case, then congrats. Okay. Aaron says, I have a difficult time pronouncing and spelling last name. What are your thoughts on branding my VO business as something other than using my name? Oh, okay, like a pseudonym. Yeah. You know, Aaron, I don't think it really matters. I mean, unless it's just really extremely long and difficult. Like, for instance, one Bill DeWeese. Bill, that's pretty simple. DeWeese, it's a very uncommon name. Um, I mean, there are DeWeeses around the country. We are all related, but there's not that many of us. So, I used to be concerned about the name DeWeese. What I found out was my name really didn't matter all that much. So, bottom line is, I don't think it matters all that much unless the name is just super, super complicated. In that case, you might want to simplify it, but using a pseudonym is perfectly fine. Sean picked up a small gig this week. Sean, congrats. That's awesome. Hey, there are no such thing as small gigs. Every gig, every victory is big. Because even if it's not a lot in money, and when you say small, I assume you mean it wasn't a lot of money. What you get in terms of confidence and momentum is going to, that's big. It's all big. Eric, howdy to you in Texas. Madeline in Pennsylvania. John, good morning in Rhinebeck, New York. Let's see here. Austin, I've started scheming about upcycling the stuff in my office for noise dampening. Excellent. I like that. I like the way you think. Eric in Indian River, Northern Michigan. Bruce in Louisville, Kentucky. What's going on, Bruce? Bob in Reedsville, North Carolina. Let's see here. Now, wait a minute. The live stream moved on me. I'm sorry. But I'm grateful because it means a lot of people are throwing in their comments and their questions. So I'll just have to work harder to keep up with it. Let's see here. Let me back up here. Of course, using LinkedIn in your marketing strategies. There is a module on that in my voiceover blueprint program. So, of all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, I would certainly say is the most effective and provides the most opportunities. And that is in the voiceover blueprint. And if you want to find out more about the blueprint, go into the description below, plug in, get all the info there. Luke, hey, and on Ankara, Turkey. Luke, good to have you on the stream this evening. How do I reduce sibilance? Well, everybody naturally has more or less sibilance. I mean, some have none. I have a little bit, and my microphone tends to accentuate mine a little bit. So you can start with equalization. So do what we call a frequency sweep, where you kind of sweep across the frequency. I won't go into an explanation. You could look it up on Google or YouTube, but essentially you take like a parametric EQ and you just sweep across the frequency to find where that harshness, that sibilance, the frying S's happen, and you can pull that down in the EQ. There are software plugins that are de-essers that are they're EQs that target in specifically on those frequencies. You can do it with a regular EQ, or you can do it with a de-esser. You can do it in editing as well. I've got a video in the blueprint program that shows me going through all the possibilities. Like, for instance, I show how you can reduce the volume of the sibilant part of your speech, the S or SH, or you can edit it to make it shorter. There's a number of things that you can do, though. I wouldn't try to change myself physically, unless, I mean, if you talk to a speech therapist, maybe. But I my thought is, I mean, any sibilance I have to deal with, and granted, mine's not a whole lot. I just deal with it in EQ. I have a de-esser in my de-essing software in my sound chain. Merrill in Palisades Park, New Jersey. How you doing, Merrill? Happy Friday. We've got Wade in Philadelphia running his second half marathon this Sunday, motivated to succeed in voiceover. There are so many parallels, and you've heard me talk about it, between marathon running and voiceover. I used to do a lot of distance running. Back in the day, ran the Chicago Marathon a couple times back in the day. I hope to do it again at some point. I'm working on it. That's all I can say for right now. But it takes a marathon mentality to succeed in business, because you can't just burn bright and go full speed and expect that in a week or two everything's going to work out. You'll build a full-time business in a couple of weeks or even a couple of months. You need a plan, and you need to implement and move forward incrementally, day after day after day. And it's amazing, because when you put one foot in front of the other, figuratively speaking, taking one day at a time and just doing what you need to do for that day, you look back after a few weeks, a few months, and then a few years, and you've got a sizable business. But it starts with mindset. That is for sure. Gabriel, Colorado, delivering 10, 15-minute videos within 24. Oh, is delivering, I thought you said you were. Is delivering 10, 15-minute videos within 24 hours typical in the industry? No, I wouldn't say it's typical. I don't know that there is. I mean, what's typical? It depends on what the client needs. I would love to have a project right now for 15-minute videos to be delivered by tomorrow morning. That would be awesome. But I wouldn't say it's typical. But those are the kind of opportunities I would love to get a hold of. Okay, the stream's moving on me again. I'm not moving fast enough. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Where are we? Fred in Cape Coral, how are you doing? Melissa in San Diego, happy Friday to you. Bob in Wadsworth, Ohio. David in Louisville, attending first networking event to meet Louisville business owners yesterday morning, made great contact with marketing advertising firm. Awesome. Hey, that's fantastic, David. Congratulations. And that's marketing mindset, finding opportunities. Marketing's about getting the right message in front of the right people. So way to go. Tim, happy Friday to you in Altoona. Ms. Johnny, how you doing in Houston? Adam, happy Friday. Tess in Decula, Georgia. Randy, how are you doing? Randy Scott, member of the VoiceOver Blueprint, as are Tess, and a lot of you guys are in the VoiceOver Blueprint, and I love it. How do I handle the potential of missing a deadline? I assume honest communication. Well, Randy, first of all, let me say you do assume correctly. And it's one of the things I hate, because I am a firm believer in under promising and over delivering. I want anytime I wrap up a project for a client, I want my client to say, "Wow, that's amazing." And not just meaning, "Wow, he sounded great," and I hope they feel that way, but a client usually is thinking, "Okay, I just need to get this." They chose you because they liked what they heard to begin with, so the assumption is you'll give them a good product, but what's not assumed is that you will deliver on time. And it does happen, Randy. I mean, obviously, you've done this long enough, you know that, and it's happened to me on occasion. But what you just said is absolutely right. The main thing is communication. Clients will forgive a multitude of sins if you're honest with them and open in your communication. What they won't forgive is that if you allow a deadline to pass and they don't hear from you, because that would be pretty much the unpardonable sin, I think, in voiceover, because as you know, and many of you guys know, voiceover is the last link of the production chain. So when a production mean it could be an e-learning project, it could be an explainer video, a commercial. So, somebody's creating it, sometimes storyboarding it, then videos created, music can be selected, scripts written, voiceover is usually the last link of that chain. And so if we don't get it done, it pushes back the entire project. But it does happen. It happens to everybody. I mean, it's life. So yeah, Randy, absolutely. Just let them know as soon as you can. And and when I've done that, I've never had an issue. For what it's worth, I'm not saying that couldn't happen. That there would be an issue at some point, but clients are typically pretty understanding. Amanda asks, are there other places to apply to read audiobooks other than ACX? Well, a couple things. You could certainly market yourself directly to audiobook publishers. That was a big part of my marketing strategy back when I was doing a lot of audiobooks. There are new websites, new platforms, ahabtalent.com, findawayvoices.com, a couple of them. Ruben in Southern California, how are you doing? Any thoughts on Presonus equipment for voiceover? No, I don't use it. I know I've got a good friend who uses it. He loves his. I'm not like a gear guy, so I don't keep up on all the latest, greatest. But Presonus is a very well respected brand. I do know that. And like I said, the people I know who use it love it. Russ in Cleveland, Ohio. Matter of fact, I'm heading to Cleveland tomorrow. My oldest son lives there. Got a clean bill from Alex last night, referring to my son, Alex DeWeese, the audio engineer. So he's apparently got Russ's audio in good shape. Awesome. Full steam ahead indeed. Aaron, let's see here. Oh, Aaron Barbeau. Aaron, was that you who was asking about using a pseudonym? There's nothing wrong with that name at all, by the way. Greetings from New York, from Dave. Hello there, Dave. Here's a good question. Do I watermark when I send a client a sample promo? I do not. So let's talk about watermarking for a moment. What is a watermark? Well, like a watermark on a document is where, and you've seen it before, like graphics, like if you want to, it's hard to download a graphic. If you want to keep you from stealing somebody else's work, they'll watermark it. They'll like put their logo on it faintly in the background. Watermarking audio is essentially the same thing. It could be a little beep in the background or a noise. Uh, Watermarks can do more harm than good. I never use a watermark. Number one, if somebody rips me off, they rip me off. I don't lose sleep. I'm sure they have. I don't know. I don't lose sleep over it. But I know that using a watermark can hurt you because I know there are clients, what they like to do is they'll take. Now, by the way, if it's somebody really sketchy or you think you're like, you don't know, this might be really sketchy. So what I'll do is maybe I'll change a word or two in the script, or if there's a phone number involved, I'll change the phone number or or leave something out that will make it unusable. But don't add something leave something out, but don't add something to the audio. And by the way, I'm not an untrusting person. And if it's, unless it's somebody like sketchy off of Fiverr that just the way they communicate lets me know that, there might be a little something up there. Maybe I'll leave something out of the sample, but I never put something in because clients like to take what you have, put it with video music, and then play it for their clients so they can see what it looks and sounds like. And if there's a beep every 5 seconds, you might just kill your chances of getting the job. So I get the idea, but I would never personally do it, nor would I recommend that you do it. Tom and Rhonda, good morning. Bob. I can't get my demos to post on Fiverr. Has something to do with MP3 pinning it. Bob, I don't know the answer to that. I'll be honest with you. I do not know. If you were in my voiceover blueprint program, you could go into our private group with all my students there and ask them. Some of them would know. My daughter, who does a webinar for my students in the blueprint program, you could ask her and she would know, but I couldn't tell you. You might want to try to contact Fiverr support. Harold, voiceover is very athletic, and it's like that because it's something that requires good health and discipline. Yeah, and also, for instance, I've been recording, and I'll just kind of wrap up on this note because I've got a lot to record today. I've been working on a very big e-learning project. It's close to 200 pages in length, financial stuff. So it's not necessarily, I mean, it's not a super difficult read, but it's not easy in terms of it's a grind. It's not overly interesting, at least not to me. Although I'm thrilled to do it because it pays. But from a physical aspect, it requires a lot. I've got about 38 pages left to go, and my plan is to finish that today. And usually I take it like about 5 pages at a time, and then I'll record 5 minutes. I'm sorry, 5 pages, and then I'll edit. That allows me to rest my voice. Record 5 more pages, edit. So I'm always working, but that's how I kind of leverage my time. But it is it's physical. Voiceover's physical. It is, I guess, athletic to a certain degree. It certainly is mentally, and it can be physically, depending on the kind of work you do. And even sometimes short form stuff. The other day, I was recording a direct response commercial. Those TV commercials about it's a real estate investing course where you can sign up for this and learn how to take advantage of things that most people can, and blah blah blah. But it's really high energy, and that it was exhausting. I'm ready to take a nap after something like that. So yeah, it certainly can be physical. Hey guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate you being on here. And, if you want to be in an environment where you have access to information all the time, plug into the VoiceOver Blueprint program. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again every day that I'm on here until you're all in it. And then maybe I'll take a break. But until then, I want to see you in the VoiceOver Blueprint. Go into the description below, click the link, get all the info. You guys have a great weekend. Congratulations on all of your success this week and tomorrow and next week. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about. Looking forward to it.